Hey guys, it's Jose Mourinho time here now, and we are going back to the time Jose Mourinho, Real Madrid, second season. Remember, my personal opinion is Jose Mourinho in Real Madrid's second season was even better than what he delivered in Inter or in Chelsea. Not me. If you think about trophies, yes, he missed the Champions League trophy if you take it up to the Inter season. The Champions League season, the Champions League trophy for him was incredible. The tactical level, they revolutionized the football. But he had a tactical style in Chelsea. He made it a little bit better in Inter. In Real Madrid, the thing that was, it was also much more offensively. I think also people forget that Mourinho in Inter Milan was somewhat more offensively than what we remember him from Premier League. When he came out of England, he was more offensively coach, manager, style and tactic. In Real Madrid, they scored a lot of goals the second season. So the problem here when I was setting up this system is myself, and I think many other people think about Real Madrid against Barcelona, so they start taking the tactic only. But he played this way because he played it that way against Barcelona. You can't think like that. You have to think about Mourinho in Real Madrid the whole season, not one season, not one game, the whole season. So this is I try to recap this one. This is so you start in the way he was thinking. Okay, you have to make some adjustments. Okay, so for example, this is the base of the formation and playing style. So if you're playing against Barcelona, yeah, you maybe have to take some measures there, and you have to maybe take the defensive line lower if you want to play the Mourinho style. That what Mourinho will do against Barcelona. The main thing that Mourinho wanted to do is to attack from the wide players, but don't play that wide. The thing is here that I would just save it one more time, so I keep this one. Okay, so if I mess it up here, if this one comes down, guys, the issue is these two players will stand higher up in the field. So you could also go like this one and have this is Özil, right? I can take the formation so you know it. I brought it with Tottenham because Mourinho is in Tottenham at this point. So what can he do to make them play the Real Madrid team that he won the La Liga with? Okay, you have Marcelo here. You will have Pepe, Ramos, and Arbeloa. I think Ike was still the goalkeeper at that time. You had the Khedira, you had Alonso, Özil, Di Maria, Ronaldo, Benzema or Higuain up front. Okay, so the issue is here, you press with two players. So in a way you could also go on a 4-4-2 here. You could play this player here, because based on the game, if he played here, we are talking about Football Manager now to recreate it, right? False 9 would be very similar in the pressing way if you also got these two lower down the field. But the problem will be that you have to use them as an inverted winger. An inverted winger would not be that similar in terms of movement based on Ronaldo and Di Maria. Remember, the main attacks comes from the wide here. They don't play wide, but the attacks come from the wide area of the field. So what they did is that these two players in the defensive part, these two players are always higher up in the field than these two players. So when for example, the opponent got the ball, you got Kane here going in defensive line. They had to win the ball, but they don't try to win the ball. That's the thing. They don't try to win the ball. They win the ball at the wide areas of the field. So you have to hammer it on the wide. And in the middle here, you're aggressive, keeping them away, make them force them out to the wide areas. When they come to the wide areas and they try to go in again, you get a break here. You counter-attack by using one of those two central points here, I'm going to call them. They are central points. You give the ball to them and you get runs on the flanks and in front. Okay, so this will how it will become, right? You have these players here. You're defending like this. When you lose the ball, the wingers will follow the fullbacks down the field. That's why you have to use them in support duty. Okay, so what will happen here is important to have Celso and Kane up front. So when you win the ball in these areas, not here. You can also win it there, but that's not the main thing here. So when you go out here, also in Inter, Mourinho did this. When you go out on wide areas, you catch you there, because if you are winning the ball here, you have the opponent's fullback coming up here, right? You have the fullback here of the opponent coming here, so you have a lot of flank to attack here. So when you win the ball here, then maybe Dyer is coming down here. No, you're winning the ball at this point. So what will you do? You're standing in this, you're not playing this formation, you're players in this situation, right? So the ball is on wide, he's pressing him, a pass comes here, or someone tries to dribble here, Dyer wins the ball. What do? The main thing is here, the first pass goes into fit. The first pass goes into fit. So he passed short to one of those two players, right? So also here at this side, Ronaldo have gone down, so you're playing in a way like this, okay? You're playing like this on your own half. You're playing like this, okay? So you're coming here, you're playing like this. So you're defending ball right here. The fullbacks are coming up, both of them. You win the ball in this part. Dyer wins the ball. He gives it simply to one of those two players. If he gives the ball to Harry Kane, Lo Celso will run past him. That's where you remember the Ozil runs. Ozil is, in my opinion, a counter-attack player. That's why he was so beautiful player in Real Madrid. He could counter-attack. It was a lot of space for him to roam. He loves to roam. He's extremely well on counter-attacking. But okay, back to the point. He wins the ball. He uses Kane at this field. Okay, then Kane keeps the ball. That's important. He keeps the ball. Play a simple pass back here. Makes a run. Or he keeps the ball. Lo Celso makes a run. Right? Lo Celso comes forward. He runs past the player. Because remember, there are two defenders and maybe a defensive midfielder here now. Okay? So he makes a run like this. These two players runs for the life up front, right? And for the second ball, as we knew, Ronaldo will get the ball a lot more times. Marcelo come a little bit higher up. Arbeloa almost on the counterattacks didn't run. You had 1, 2, 3 players going on run. Sometimes you get Khedira here, or sometimes you got also Marcelo. Marcelo always come in support, and Khedira always come in support. So they will play like this on the counterattacking move. And this will be the way they are. So if they lose the ball here, you have these two players with the help of Arbeloa winning it. So the ball is here at Kane at this point, right? So they win the ball. So where do you think you're going to play it? They're going to play it out here. But not out wide for a cross, mainly out here to get a finish. If they go out here, then Ronaldo will tap it in at the left. Why does he go in here? He takes the central defenders with himself this way, right? So if he if he takes the ball, he's here, right? So when he gets the ball, the central defender will go on him. So he makes a run. So force the central defenders don't go at him. Why does these two run so wide and straightforward? The reason is very simple. Because the fullbacks opponents are here. They are up on your field. So they're gonna take them here. They go here, right? If you lose the ball here, you win it. The opponents are still not balanced, right? The defender have not the opponent is not come into balance yet. So if they win the ball, you can hit them again. You're still on the counter attack. But that's important. The main issue here is here that you don't got Marcelo also running here, and you don't got Arbeloa running too high. You need a wave 1, wave 2. That's the way he plays. Wave 1, wave 2. You counter-attack them, you cannot win them with the first, you don't give up, you still win it. So you need these lines, okay? But let's say that the ball goes now to Ozil, that we remember very, very, very well that happened. The ball mainly went to Ozil. So it's the same even to now we are talking very much. I wrote my license about this thing, a football license, I'm coaching too. Okay, anyway, so they win the ball, they give the ball to Ozil. Okay, then he does the same, he goes on the move. But then what Higuain especially will do was, if Ozil got the ball, Higuain would always run outside the stoppers, never in between them. He ran not wide here, but he ran outside, because that's the space you want to attack. The fullbacks are up. You have two center defenders. You go out with one of the center defenders at the outside of the center defenders on the counter attack. You split up their center defenders, so it will be only one player defending the center the area here. So when he comes, he can just tap it in. You have one central defender defending you, or maybe a midfielder that is running with his head against his own goal. It will be a tapping goal, right? So this is the situation you will stand in when you don't have the ball. So it's extremely important when you are defending, with this system, that these two players are higher up than all other players, right? So if you win the ball here, he cannot run with it and start to make some passes back. You pass it in to one of those players, and then you make the run. And it's same who passes the ball into the space, but the ball have to go into the space, right? So we take it back to Jose Mourinho style here. No, okay. So that's the main way you attack. So of course you have now, looking at the system, we are thinking we're gonna also adjust it a little bit more while you are here. You have Ramos and Pepe here. Ramos and Pepe used to mark tightly, right? So I have taken few risks from Pepe. This is Pepe, right? Sanchez stay wider. Ramos used to go a little bit wider, but you don't need it. You can also go like this, mark tighter. Then you go. You should, if you move these two players up this level, higher up, I would do it this way. I wouldn't let Ramos go wide. But if you're pushing them lower, but then you're starting to make something new, So okay, this is better, right? Arula also, he used to stay wider, but something you can do with him is also mark him tight. He also marked tighter. This was, I think Marcelo was the only one that didn't mark that tight, but I don't think it was because him was not ordered to do that, but I think it was more that he didn't do it. He's not that defensive player, good enough. But he was good defensively at that point too, but he was not that good defensively. Then you had then you have Alonso. Many of you, I think, will agree with me and say Alonso is a playmaker. But if you make him a playmaker in this game, he will get the ball too much, and that will be crossing Lo Celso. So you use the right player. I use Winks in Tottenham, because the reason is when you use him as a deep line playmaker, he will get all the balls. So you can just go in here and we can make him a playmaker. Do you want him to take more risk? Yes, I want him to take some more risk. Do I want him to dribble? No, I don't want him to dribble that much. But the main thing was he was good defensively. I would use him at center midfielder and defense. If you go down here, it's gonna be a little bit hard, but then you can use him at defensive midfielder and in support. I would maybe do that one. So Dyer is playing in the Khedira role. Khedira could also be in the. Here is who's your opponent, right? So if you're playing against Barcelona, he's a ball-winning midfielder. Are you playing against a minor good team? He's a box-to-box midfielder. But what you gotta do here is you want to make him get forward in the field, because he got forward into the field. He made some runs into the box. He scored a lot of goals on the header, so things like that. So here is maybe Eric Dyer is not the right player for me here, and I should maybe look at someone else. Maybe I should use Winks here, right, and use another player at this side. But okay, maybe I should use Delali here and use him as a box-to-box midfielder, okay, and make him tackle harder. I don't know. Maybe I should use Sissoko there. Okay. Anyway, Arbeloa at the other side, guys, he was also very standing down the field. He didn't come that much. He was I think Mourinho loved this guy. You had Lucas Moura is playing in the Ronaldo role. That's the thing here is that they will come in the space, to attack the space. After they attack the space, they will also be good at flair and dribbling, because at this part, when they come up in the field, Mourinho expects the players to do it themselves. This is not the kind of Sarri football. He have 100 plans. How you gonna tic tac the ball here and then set up someone free? Get the ball to those three up front based on their physique, dribbling, pace and finishing. It's up to you to make it yourself. You're four up here. Your job to do it. Use your flair, use your dribbling to make it happen, okay? So you want to give them the freedom to dribble more. So you're gonna go in here, dribble more. If it's Ronaldo, he should shoot more often, okay? But no, I don't know what you're gonna do. You're gonna say, I want it exactly like what Mourinho did, so he have to shoot more. Or maybe you're gonna say, guess what? The style is the same, but his name was Ronaldo. That was the reason he he was allowed to shoot so often, right? Would Lucas Moura got to shoot that often if he played in Real Madrid? No, of course not. The base is that he attacks the wide areas and comes in forward here. Then you have also Harry Kane playing in that role. You can use him as a pressing forward. But I'm afraid of as a pressing forward. If you use him that pressing forward, the deep lying playmaker, I'm afraid will. If you use him as a deep lying playmaker, I'm afraid he will go in Özil's way. If I use him as an advanced forward, the problem will be he will never work with his head against the ball and he will not keep the ball. So maybe you should. I don't know, but you have to see on your players and their player traits. Here in Tottenham, I would go with Lo Celso here. Lo Celso, I will go here. Yeah, we can take the wide players first to be finished with them. Okay, they also have a main object defensively. That's the mark specific person. That's the defenders. That's the fullbacks. They will man mark that player tightly. Don't go pressing intensity too high. If you can, because sometimes they can split up your defensive line, and that's not a good thing. But you can ask them to tackle harder, because when the ball comes in the wide areas, you want to tackle them harder. Can be some free kick against you, so you have to watch that one. But hey, it's a lot of free kick against Mourinho's teams. So you use them, tackle harder, and get forward. I have not set an attack because I'm afraid that if I use the attack button here, they will not do well defensively. These two players have to have the stamina, work rate, teamwork to work down the field and work also offensively. So what do we expect from you, Harry Kane? He can pressure more, but as a pressing forward, he will fit that system. He will not dribble that much, and based on his playing style, I would take more risk and only shoot more often. Maybe this is my Ronaldo here. Celso, you go here. This is your Özil. I'd say more direct passing, urge him to play that more, dribble more. Özil dribbled more, So you can also take this one away because we are asking the team to dribble more at the last part, so you can maybe do that. And we also want him to move into channels. Okay, so that's the players here. You're gonna look at the style. We are playing positive. We are not playing cautious defensively because the style itself is Mourinho. Again, when you are playing Barcelona, go cautious. But you are not playing Barcelona 38 games in the season, right? So, and one other thing is that in Football Manager, if you go defensive formation and you use the defensive setup here, you will never counterattack. You need them to counterattack. So you want them to take risk when they got the ball, right? Okay, our passing the team's width will be. I take fairly narrow because it's narrow. It's really narrow, and it's important is those two waves we talked about, the first wave and the second wave. If you want the wave here or behind here, and they get a counter attack, they lose the ball because they will dribble. You need the wave number 2, so you need it to be a little bit more narrow, so you can win the second ball. And also, something I have thought about is the ball. You want the ball to go into the center part of the area at this part, so go wide. So if you see that's not happening in your team, that they win the ball here and go directly all other places where they should go. But remember one thing too: if Aurier wins the ball, Min here, Son Heung-min is coming alone at this room. What should he do? Should he pass the ball in or should he pass the ball over? What would Arbola do there? Of course he will pass the ball directly to him. These spaces are the spaces they want to approach. So, yeah. But anyway, but if you see the players are dunking it and you're not getting the ball too much at the wide areas, but no one is getting the ball, so you then need to get the ball into central part. You can take this one too. I wouldn't do it with Tottenham. I think the players will get the ball to Lo Celso, and if I also use Delali as a box-to-box midfielder, I think the ball will automatically get more into the middle, especially if that doesn't work. You can also use him then as a deep lying forward. Maybe that will happen then. But okay, so you have to trigger it a little bit. In this case, I wouldn't do that because you're already playing fairly narrow. So yeah, shorter passing. The counter-attack goes on short passing. If you hit this one passing direct, the thing is that what happens here is not shorter passing. Sorry, this is a shorter aimment where the ball goes. If I take this one higher up, what I'm afraid of would happen at that point is they will bombard. When they win the ball, they will smell at the high balls in here because they want to go faster in, and that will be too fast. So you will lose the ball a lot of times, right? Remember, we are not. When even Real Madrid played against Barcelona, it was not the high balls. It was in here, small passes into the back room here, space behind the defense. You need those short passes. So if you go too direct here, it will not be a nice enough counter-attack. Okay, anyway, we go. Tempo higher. Here you can also go on whipped crosses or low crosses. On counter-attacks, they normally use low crosses. When they had the ball in the team, they went for whipped crosses. They run at defense because that's the job. Your forward players have green light to score goals. 2 wingers, 1 striker, get the goals. Dribble, pass. At the third part, just get my goals. That's Mourinho style. We don't go counter pressing. Mourinho did that sometimes, especially some few times. So you have to, but mainly one of the main rules in Mourinho football is that when we lose the ball, I want to have everyone back in the field at the right side of the ball. That means behind the ball, not falling deep always, but he doesn't. That's one of the most important rules. When we don't have the ball, the opponent have the ball, everyone have to come back. So you can maybe hit this one, but counter pressing, gegenpressing style is not Mourinho style. You can take this one away. He have high aggressive pressing where he wants the ball, but he wants it under controlled situation, not just going as crazy man out there. Remember, Mourinho players are big players. It's not fit small players that you normally use. In Real Madrid he used Alonso, Khedira, sometimes also with Pepe in midfield. Right? That's 3 big guys. That's not gegenpressing guys. So yeah, I won't do that. I will start to make the real shape. Regroup. But counter-attacking, absolutely. Distribute to center backs. Yeah, you could also go to the full backs. He sometimes did that, and sometimes you also contract up here. But that was against special teams. So if you're meeting a special team, you can go here, distribute over the defense line. You can do that, or at the wide areas, distribute to the flanks. Right? You can do that too. But you can't have that any game. Mourinho played defensive width was I think many people think it was since he always had good jumping and good marking in the box with his center defenders, Pepe, Ramos, great players inside the box. In Inter, Samuel and Lucio, great players into the box, and same thing in Chelsea. So the question is not if it is wide, if it's standard or if it's narrow. That's the big question here. So I personally believe it's here. But if you're going to play it with Tottenham, I would go here, standard. Mourinho had higher defensive line. Mourinho loves to play against opponents that keeps the ball in the team, because then he can push them out wide and win the ball wide, and he knows his fullback is there. What he hates is playing against teams that use a lot high balls. Mourinho knows against teams that are small passing here, that they will not encounter the defensive line here, behind the defensive line, too fast. So he can dare standing high, put them in here, hitman breaks. Normally Mourinho, even against Barcelona, I remember he stood high. He tried to stay with Real Madrid. He was standing high up in the field sometimes. I'm not saying he was playing gegenpress, but he was playing high up. But the the line of engagement is not that high up in the field, right? And it's a little bit closer to this line, so these guys can dominate the room in the middle. These 2 guys here. It's important to have those 2 players physically fit players. It's important. these two players here. So, and also that you can make some room in attacking. So, and also you remember we are regrouping, so you don't want this. You want them to regroup. Come down, regroup, attack. This one can be higher based on opponents you're playing against, right? He used tighter marking, guys. They are zonal defending, but in many areas of the field is tighter marking. But this is something you can be looking at later. Prevent short goal keep, absolutely. He doesn't let your opponent play out from behind if they are good with the ball. He wants them to start with the long balls. But the new rules now, I don't know. But when he was a coach of Real Madrid, I used to remember he was man marking everyone. So Victor Valdez had to go long ball sometimes. Why not man marking? I am not. You have to see it on teams from team. One of the reasons is the man mark. If they start man marking and running around crazy, it's not right. But the thing is, these two players, they don't man mark that much. So for example, when the ball went here with the fullback, he's eating this space. Then Winks will eat this space. So if someone plays to try to find out the room between the midfield and defense, like a player like Messi, is Winks' role to keep this player, but Dyer's role is to stop this zone so you can't approach. A center back cannot approach here, a full back cannot approach here. The pass doesn't go through here, so he comes up here and closing it down here, right? So that's the way he uses it. So when the ball goes to the left, I eat this space. I don't come forward. I come here. So we can have a triangle here, and I can push to keep the opponent wide here, and we can win the ball, while Dyer would take out the Messi here or someone that will play in that role. Okay, guys, I hope you liked it. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you didn't like it, hit still the like button so I can maybe make it better. I'm joking with you. Thank you anyways, guys, and see you later.